everyone, this is Angie at Stampin' with Amore, and today I'm sharing these cute little treat ornaments, and they're super fun to put together. And one of them I have M&Ms in it. I only had the red and white, so I did not have any green to put in there, but I think it'd be super cute with the red, white, and green ones that come out during the holidays. They haven't come out yet. I haven't seen them. And then I had some sixlets, and I used those in this one, so you can see how cute the red and green and white looks in it. But today I am going to use some Jelly Bellies, and these are actually from last year, but I'm going to show you what they look like in here. So you can use any kind of candy in it, like small candies. And I'm actually leaning towards the one that doesn't have it matted on the front. I matted the back, but the front I didn't mat, and I matted both front and back on this one. But I'm going to show you how to do this one because I really think it really looks cute. I like it better. And I'll show you how to mat the back, and it's the same way to mat the front. So if you want to go ahead and mat the front, you can do that. And so let's go ahead and just get started with it. So what you're going to need is a piece, and I'm using Cherry Cobbler this time because I have Cherry Cobbler Designer Series paper I'm using. And the Designer Series paper I'm using from this one is the Festive Farmhouse. And it's really, really cute. And I've been so greedy with this because I love the patterns in it. So this is the one that I'm using. It even has this wood grain. It's super pretty. But look at all the plaids and stripes. I just love that. And I love these little stars. But I am going to use it for this project. So this piece measures 9 3/4 by 1 3/8. And then I already went ahead and scored it because this may take a little bit longer to show you. I scored it at 3/8 on both long sides. So go down the 1 3/8 side, score 3/8 on this side and 3/8 on this side. So now what you're going to have to do, and this is what takes the most time, but you need to just be patient. It's really worth it. It really goes pretty quick once you start. And you're just going to cut little increments all the way up to that score line here, and you want to keep your cuts pretty close together. I'm thinking they're, I don't know, maybe 2/8 inch apart. They're really close together, but you're gonna see why, because it has to go around the circle, and it just works so much better, and it goes so much easier if you cut them, you know, closer together. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up so you don't have to sit here and watch me cut down both sides. So you do need to cut down both sides. Okay, so I have them both cut all the way up on both sides. This makes it super easy to go around the circles that you're going to have to do. We're going to go ahead, and I'm just folding down on these because I want to make sure our score lines are pretty straight here. And I suggest when we put this together using wet glue, or if you have fast fuse, the fast fuse does work. Don't use tear and tape. The fast fuse kind of like will stretch a little bit, and the tear and tape doesn't really stretch. So I tried it with tear and tape and it didn't work as well. It just works really well with wet glue or your fast fuse. All right, now let's go ahead and bring up the big shot. We are using the largest of the layering circles, and we're using the largest scallop. So this scallop is about 3 inches round. This one's going to be to cut out your window sheet. But this one right here measures 2 inches, and this is going to be for our center of that. So let's get the big shot up here and go ahead and cut all those pieces out. So we're going to use the magnetic plate, and we're going to use, I have my new plates, I just didn't grab them. Then I am going to use the cherry cobbler, and we're going to cut 2 of the scallops out. Okay, so we have one here, and we have another one. And then since I am not going to mat the front, I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and put my circle. Make sure it's centered really well. You even may want to use a little sticky note because you don't want it to be off-centered. It just will not look right. So I'm just going to stick a piece of Post-it note there. And then I'm going to go ahead and, while we're running that through, run my window sheet through at the same time. So I hope I got that centered, because yeah, it's pretty centered. And then the window sheet, here's our little window sheet piece. It's not perfect, but it's really close. All right, and now the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to run a piece of my designer series paper for the back of this. And this is 3 1/4 inches, and it cuts one out perfectly. And I think that is all we need to cut with the big shot. So we have both, that's the front, and then this is the back and the matting. And then we have our little window sheet right here. And then you're going to also need a piece of the designer series paper you want to use on the side. And this piece will measure 7/8, and I just left it at 11 inches. You can cut it off. I'll show you in a minute why I leave it a little bit longer when we get to that point. So let's go ahead and mat the back piece here. So I am using wet glue here, the Tombow. This just helps because of the scallops. It helps to be able to line these up really well. And you have wiggle time to move it around. So there it is. Okay, so then this piece right here that we're going to use for our front, we're going to start, I'm going to go ahead and use the fast fuse, but we're going to go ahead, you can use the wet glue like I said. This just works very quickly, and for this video I need it to, but you can see how the fast fuse will give some, and the tear and tape is like a more dense. That's the only way I can tell you, and it doesn't want to give any, and we need that give. So you're going to just start anywhere on here and just try to keep it close to the edge and just start working it around. You can see why I cut them so close together. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can go do it from this side too. I usually kind of just move it around so I can see where I'm laying it. And then when you come to the end, you want this piece to be on the inside. And just layer it right on top of your other piece. And you need to like really pay attention to where you're putting, how far they are from your little scallops. You want them to be the same width. So at the end, you just need to fool with it until you get it exactly where you want it, and then just use your fingers to seal it down here. And then what I did on this edge here, I just took a glue dot and stuck a glue dot in the inside there. So we're going to just do that for this one. You can add adhesive there too, but I decided just to use the glue dot was just as easy. So see, can you see how I have it all? And it goes down really, really nicely when you cut your these little grooves. When you cut them close enough together, it goes down really nicely. All right, now we are going to add our window sheet. And again, I'm going to just use some fast fuse, and I'm going to just run it along the inside here. You can use wet glue, but I don't, that's what I used for my other ones. I don't want to take the time to wait and hold it. So I'm just adding fast fuse. You can use glue dots at this point. I like how the fast fuse holds it down better. And then you're just going to lay that down in there. So then we have our little window in our little treat box right there. All right, so now it's time to put your candy in. You do have to, the only downfall is that you do have to open these up, but what are you going to do with it afterwards? I mean, once Christmas is over, you're not going to keep an empty container. So to me, it just didn't matter that it didn't, you know, open. So I wish I had some white, because the white really looked pretty, but tend to be getting a lot more green than red out of here. Let's see if I can grab a couple more red. And we'll put some more red in there, but if it's a pretty good amount of, especially these Jelly Bellies, they're kind of small. All right, and don't overfill it, because you have to put your top on yet. So this part's the easy part, because you're going to fold this all over. And I'm just going to add adhesive along here. And you can use tear and tape on this part if you want to just, but I'm just running my fast fuse all along the edge here on this one. Make sure you got a good amount on there. And then you're just going to press that down and line this up. Make sure your little things are curled under. You may have to go around and work it a little bit, but it usually goes down really nicely because we cut them so small. All right, so look at, there's the little container. And really, it's not that hard. I mean, I know people are going to probably think it's hard. It's just, it's not. So I'm going to put this on now. This is our top, because that is where that little joint met right there. I'm going to grab some, I think I'll use the green on here. So I cut about 8 inches for the ribbon. And what I did is I took glue dots first. You're going to put one on each end. You're going to set it down here. And then we'll get the other one. It's probably going to be easier for me to set the glue dot on the paper. Put one on each end and make sure your ribbon's going the right way. And I'm just going to set it like that for now. And then we're going to go ahead and add adhesive to the back of this. Leave this part without adhesive, just about maybe 1.5 inches. And then put your adhesive all the way down. And we are going to start right where that adhesive is. Going to start right there. And you're going to start running it along the edge here. And then you're going to do it until you get to the edge of the ribbon. And I'm just going to cut a little piece here so this will lay flat. And on this piece right here, I am going to use my hole punch. Now be real careful on this part because you want it to be I don't want it to grab right there. You want it to be right in the center of this piece here. You don't even have to do this part. You can just cut it right to the edge. I did that on this one, but I like see how I just cut it right to each edge? On this one, I used the hole, and I like the way that looked. It was more cleaner. So you can do it either way. We're going to run this ribbon right through that hole. And I probably should have cut it a little closer, or I should have punched it. That's what I'm going to do, because we're going to end up cutting this. So I'm going to punch it a little further down. So you have to watch where you punch it. So we'll end up cutting that little hole out there. That's better. So you can see how that, and then we're going to just cut it. That's why I leave the extra, because you have that little bit of extra to work with. So then it goes right through the hole, and it just gives it a little bit of a cleaner look. You don't even have to do that. I wanted to show it so you have the option. So that's the back, and here's the front, and then it'll hang like that. All right, let's get out our Whisper White, and we are going to stamp our candy cane and our sentiment. I'm going to use cherry cobbler this time for our candy cane. And as you can see, I'm just grabbing some scrap. That's how this scrap comes in really good use when you are doing projects like this. And I hope I can line this up, because it's really essential to have your head over this one. It's a little bit difficult if my head's not, I don't want to get it in the way. You can see I got it off of here, but that we're just going to leave it like that. And then I am going to use some old olive for the ribbon, and then we're going to use some shaded spruce also for the ribbon. So we're going to stamp it first. And I need to move this away because we are going to punch this 2 different times. And then this is a 2-step stamp also. And there's the ribbon. And then on this other piece, I'm going to stamp the sentiment with cherry cobbler. And it says, "'Tis the sweet season." which all of these are from the candy cane season, and this is a bundle with the punch. I forgot to tell you that. This is the candy cane season, and it has the coordinating punch that punches the ribbon and the candy cane. So we are going to just stamp that down there. This one we are going to hand cut, and I'm just going to cut it really close to the sentiment. And that's what we're going to use for that. And then this is the punch that coordinates with that stamp set. And I am going to cut these and punch them out separately. You can make a little like matrix, a template for it. And that's what I usually do, but I forgot to do it for this one. So we're just cutting it separately, punching them separately. And then line this one up. These are a little bit harder to layer. Like I said, the candy cane, you really need to be over it. And that's why I like punching them separate also. Because when you do a template, if you get one off, then you are off. Okay, we are going to set this right across the front here. Then we're going to put the adhesive on our candy cane and set that right there. And I'm using a dimensional on the back of the bow. I didn't know if I'd like the, if I would like the cherry cobbler as well, but I do. It's really pretty. Okay, so there you have it. And it's super cute. They are really fun to make, and you can do these like all at once. Like you can run all your framelits through first, then run all your window sheets. And actually this one I made, I made this a little bit shorter, and it's much nicer, thicker. So that's why I changed the measurements on these. This one's a little bit thicker too, because you can fit more candy and stuff in there. But look at, you can hang these on your tree or put them on a present, the front of a present, and they'd be really cute. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed it. Here is my hostess code for October if you'd like to purchase any of the products you need to make this. And you can go to my blog at stampingwithamore.com and shop from my blog. I hope you liked it, everyone, and have a blessed day, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Bye.